The great hall of the Galactic Council was silent when the judgment was read. Thousands of alien eyes watched as Ambassador Evelyn Drake, the only human in the chamber, stood in the circle of light at the center. The Speaker of the Council, a tall and glowing being of pure energy, lifted his staff. His voice echoed through the hall. After many warnings and countless violations, he declared, the species known as Homo sapiens, humanity, is hereby banned from the Galactic Council. You are no longer welcome among the civilized stars. The words hit the air like thunder. Some aliens hissed in approval. Others whispered nervously. Humanity had always been a strange force. Fast, ambitious, unpredictable. Evelyn did not flinch. Her hands were steady at her sides, though her eyes burned with quiet anger. On what grounds? She asked. The speaker tilted his radiant head. You humans expand without permission. You mine worlds that were meant to rest. You build weapons where peace should live. You ignore our laws. Your kind is dangerous. Evelyn's lips curved into a small, tired smile. No, she said softly. We're just alive. A wave of murmurs rippled through the hall. The speaker slammed his staff against the floor. Enough! Humanity's arrogance is the reason it must be contained. The galaxy cannot afford another war caused by your kind. Then don't provoke one, Evelyn replied, calm but sharp. You fear our ambition because we don't hide behind fear. Gasps. The speaker's light flared. You insult this council. I tell the truth, she said. You sit here in comfort while the stars grow cold. You speak of peace but build empires of silence. Humanity may be flawed, but at least we still dream. That was enough. The guard stepped forward, but the speaker lifted his hand. Let her go. Her words mean nothing. Her people are finished. Evelyn turned, her boots echoing on the shining floor. Remember this, she said before leaving. You can ban us from your halls, but not from the heavens. And with that, the doors closed behind her. The silence after the storm. When news reached Earth, the world changed overnight. The Galactic Council had cut all contact. No trade, no travel, no communication. Human colonies were isolated. Their stations were blacklisted. The Council believed this would break humanity. They were wrong. Instead of panic, there was purpose. Across the solar system, a quiet fire spread. From the shipyards of Mars to the floating cities of Venus, people whispered a single phrase. If they will not have us, we will have ourselves. Factories roared to life. Engineers worked without sleep. Scientists shared their discoveries freely, without politics or profit. The borders that once divided nations began to fade. Humanity had been humbled, but also united. Project crowned 2 years after the ban, under the surface of Luna Base, a secret meeting was held. The room was carved from solid rock, its walls glowing with blue light. At the center stood a hologram, a massive, circular structure orbiting between Earth and Mars. Evelyn Drake was there, now serving as High Coordinator of the Terran Assembly, the united government of all human worlds. Beside her stood Captain Noah Reyes, commander of the newly formed solar fleet. He studied the glowing image. So this is what they're afraid of? He asked quietly. Evelyn nodded. They feared our ambition. Let's give them a reason. Reyes frowned. It looks like a ring. A throne, Evelyn said. A place that belongs only to us. She turned to the gathered scientists and leaders. We are not building a weapon, she said firmly. We are building our future. A symbol that we answer to no one but ourselves. The Galactic Council cast us out, fine. We will build our own seat among the stars. And so began Project Crown, the work of a species no one slept. For 5 years, every human hand and mind contributed. Asteroids were mined for metal. Moons were carved for fuel. Artificial suns were created to power the construction. It was the greatest building project in human history. The Crown Station would be a ring the size of a small moon, glowing with its own light, able to house millions. It would be part city, part ship, part symbol. Children were born under its construction beams. Families moved closer to Mars to watch it rise. Human songs began to fill the vacuum of space, songs of hope, pride, and defiance. The Galactic Council sent warnings. They demanded explanations. Humanity did not reply. The message 7 years after the ban. The Crown Station was completed. Evelyn stood before the cameras in the main control chamber, a vast room filled with silver light and hums of power. The human flag, redesigned to show a shining crown over a circle of stars hung behind her. Her voice was calm and steady as she spoke to every colony, every outpost, every ship in human space. Years ago, she said, we were told we were not civilized enough to sit among the stars. We were banned. We were silenced. But silence taught us something. We do not need their permission to exist. She paused, letting the words echo. We do not beg for a place. We build it. At her signal, the Crown Station's outer ring began to glow. Its engines hummed to life. Beams of golden light stretched into the void, forming gateways. Stable. Glowing wormholes linking distant human colonies in seconds. It was something the Council had never been able to achieve. The feed spread everywhere. Every alien world saw it. Humanity had built not only a throne but a network, a bridge between stars. And in the center of the station, carved in shining letters 2 kilometers high, were the words, Human Throne. The galaxy reacts within hours. The Galactic Council met in panic. They've built a superweapon, shouted one ambassador. They threaten our order, cried another. The speaker slammed his staff again. They cannot be allowed to continue. But even as he spoke, the reports kept coming. Human trade routes had reopened, not through council space but through their own wormholes. Human colonies were thriving, and their energy output now rivaled the entire council's combined systems. The speaker whispered in disbelief, how did they achieve this without our technology? An aide trembled. They made their own, sir. The speaker's glow dimmed. Impossible. But it was true. The council had underestimated what humans could do when cornered. Visitors to the throne a month later, the first alien delegation arrived at the edge of the solar system. They came not as conquerors but as witnesses. A massive gate of light welcomed them. As their ships passed through, they saw the Crown Station in full, spinning slowly, golden arcs stretching like wings. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. It was human. When they landed, Evelyn Drake was there to greet them. You came, she said simply. The alien leader stepped forward, voice uneasy. We wanted to see what you have made. Evelyn nodded. Then see. This is not a weapon, it's a promise. You banned us because you feared our hunger for progress. But progress cannot be banned. The alien tilted his head. You call this a throne? Yes, she said. A throne for all who stand on their own feet. Not a seat of power, a symbol of freedom. The council ruled with fear. We build with hope. The alien was silent for a long time. Around them, the stars reflected on the shining metal floor like 1,000 candles. Finally, he said quietly, Perhaps we were wrong about you. Evelyn smiled gently. No, she said. You were right to fear us. But fear isn't always the enemy. The Crown Station had changed everything. In only 1 year, the galaxy had started to shift around humanity's creation. Trade routes that once passed through the Galactic Council's gates now flowed through human wormholes. Ships from every species traveled to the station, curious or desperate, seeking deals with the people who had once been banned. The Council tried to stop it. They declared that trading with humans was illegal. But words could not block progress. The more they resisted, the more species turned toward Earth's shining throne. For the first time in 1,000 years, the balance of power in the galaxy was no longer in the Council's hands. The meeting on the throne inside the heart chamber of the Crown Station. Evelyn Drake stood beside a wide glass window showing the swirling blue light of the wormholes. Below her, thousands of humans moved across shining decks, engineers, diplomats, soldiers, scientists, all working together. Captain Noah Reyes entered quietly. They've sent another message, he said, handing her a glowing tablet. Evelyn read the words slowly. It was from the Galactic Council, a formal request to discuss peaceful reintegration. She smiled faintly. Now they wish to talk. Reyes crossed his arms. They banned us, mocked us, threatened us. And now they want us back? That's how fear works, she said softly. First they hate you, then they need you. Reyes frowned. Will we go? Evelyn turned toward the window. No, if they want to talk, they can come here. To the throne they said we'd never build. The first Galactic Summit months later, for the first time in history, the leaders of 50 alien species came to Earth's orbit. They did not meet in the Council's marble halls. They met inside humanity's crown, a place built from steel, light, and courage. The vast chamber shimmered with gold light. In the center stood Evelyn Drake, calm and proud. The alien speaker, the same one who had once declared humanity's exile, was among them. His light dimmed slightly as if he felt shame. "You invited us," he said carefully, "and we have come. What do you wish to discuss?" Evelyn looked around at them, beings of every shape and color, each carrying centuries of distrust. "Not discussion," she said. "Change." Murmurs filled the chamber. Evelyn continued, her voice firm but warm. "For thousands of years, this council has ruled by fear. You punish progress. You limit discovery. You protect peace by killing curiosity." The speaker raised his staff. "We maintained balance." "Balance without growth is decay," Evelyn replied. "You kept the stars still because you were afraid to see what happens when they move." A heavy silence fell. Then she said, "The human throne will not replace your council, but it will offer something new, a place where any species, no matter how small or strange, can speak freely, share knowledge, and explore together. No control, only cooperation," the delegates whispered among themselves. Some mocked her idea. Others listened carefully. Evelyn smiled slightly. "You called us dangerous because we refused to sit quietly. But danger and discovery are twins. You can't have one without the other." The speaker said coldly, "You think you can rebuild the order of the galaxy?" Evelyn looked him straight in the eye. "No," she said softly. "We're building something better. The storm approaches. Not all species were ready for peace. Far beyond council space, in the dark zones where law never reached, a powerful faction called the Sorn Collective rose in anger. They saw humanity's throne as a threat to their power. They wanted the wormholes for themselves. They gathered fleets, hundreds of warships powered by stolen technology, and sent a warning to Earth. The throne belongs to no one. Hand it over or we take it. When the message reached the solar system, the people of Earth did not panic. They had faced extinction before, from wars, from hunger, from silence. Now they stood together again. Evelyn called a meeting in the command chamber. "The Sorn think we built this to rule," she said. "They're wrong. We built it to stand, and we'll prove it." Captain Reyes nodded. "We'll fight then?" Evelyn's eyes glimmered. "We'll defend, and remind the galaxy what humans can do when pushed." The battle for the crown. The first attack came without warning. Dozens of Sorn warships emerged from hyperspace, dark and massive, their energy cannons burning red. They fired on the outer ring of the crown station, explosions blooming like silent flowers across the void. Human defense ships launched instantly. The solar fleet, ships designed for exploration but armed for survival, formed a defensive net. Captain Reyes commanded from the flagship Sol's Edge. "Keep them away from the station," he shouted. Laser fire lit the darkness. Human ships moved fast, faster than anyone thought possible. They used gravity drives, a human invention the Council had once banned. Within minutes, half the Sorn fleet was in chaos, but the enemy was relentless. Their largest ship, the Devourer, approached the station directly, charging a superweapon. In the control room, Evelyn watched the readings rise. The energy spike could destroy the entire crown. Rhea's voice crackled through the comms. "They're locking on! We can't intercept in time." Evelyn's mind raced. Then she looked toward the center console, the core of the crown station where the wormhole generators pulsed with light. "Prepare the crown for phase shift," she ordered. A technician gasped. "That system's never been tested. We could tear space apart." Evelyn's voice was calm. "Then let's hope space understands who we are." She activated the sequence. The ring glowed blinding white. Energy flowed through every corridor. For one moment, all sound vanished, and then the station disappeared. The Sorn fleet fired their weapon, but their target was gone. The energy wave scattered uselessly into the void. When the light cleared, the crown station reappeared, behind the enemy fleet. Reyes grinned. "You beautiful genius." Human ships struck from behind. The Sorn were trapped between two fronts. Within hours, their armada was destroyed. The few that survived fled into deep space, never to return. The galaxy had just watched humans bend reality itself, and win. After the battle, the damage to the crown was severe, but the spirit of humanity was unbroken. As engineers worked to repair the shattered sections, messages poured in from across the stars, not of fear, but of respect. Species that had once doubted humanity now sent envoys, asking to join the new alliance. They didn't want rulers. They wanted equals. And so the Throne Alliance was born, a union of free species working together under a single promise. No voice shall be silenced. No dream shall be banned. Evelyn stood once again before the galaxy, broadcasting from the repaired heart chamber. Years ago, she said, you banned us for being too bold. You feared our hunger to reach higher. But that hunger was never a curse. It was a gift. We build, we learn, we rise, Muir, and we invite you to rise with us. She raised her hand toward the holographic stars. The human throne is not built to rule. It is built to remind us all that no one has the right to decide how far another species may dream. A new dawn years passed. The Throne Alliance grew. Planets once cut off by old council rules became centers of learning and discovery. Children of different species studied together. Ships flew under the shared symbol of the crown, a circle of light uniting worlds once divided by fear. Evelyn Drake became a legend. Not for leading wars, but for proving that courage, intelligence, and unity could move the stars themselves. Captain Reyes often stood beside her, watching the endless horizon of space. One day, he said, someone will challenge what we built. Evelyn smiled softly. Then let them. We'll show them what humanity does best. We'll build again. She looked out at the stars, billions of them burning quietly. Let the galaxy remember, she whispered. We were banned once, but we answered not with war. We answered by building our own throne. Epilogue 1,000 years later, the legend of humanity's throne still lived. The old Galactic Council was gone, its halls silent and empty. In its place stood the Crown Network, connecting thousands of civilizations across time and space.